Hi Virgo, this is your reading for this week of March 9th, or when you hear it and it resonates. And of course, it will not be for every Virgo. Virgo, the first thing that I saw as I was asking about the collective, what the Virgo collective would benefit most from hearing, this is what I got. I got an image of you with a vase, and there are flowers in the vase. Some of the flowers are young and fresh and new, and there are others in there that are kind of old. Some of them are dried up, and some of them are just kind of like really sagging, but it's those dried up and sagging ones that are making the water in the vase kind of sludgy. It gets that kind of slimy quality. It's just like, it's not a healthy, fresh water anymore. Not a healthy, fresh water. Water being the representation of your emotions. So what I'm looking at is if old flowers are representing old experiences and the water is representing your emotion, then it says to me, you in amongst good things that might be going on in your life, you might not always be nourishing them in the way that you could if you are still carrying issues from the past that are negative. Let's just say negative, that are not healed. Unforgivenesses, grudges, blames, guilts, any of those things that you're still holding on to might be affecting the quality of your emotional relationships and your ability even to nourish new relationships if you're carrying baggage from the past. Now, that's the image that I got and the description that I got. And then I pulled the cards, and what you get are patterns. What are your patterns around forgiveness? What do you have a really strong opinion on, a positionality on, about something that happened, about other people, about yourself even, that really deserves to be looked at and questioned with a kind curiosity rather than with judgment and criticism. Try to look at whatever you're willing to look at in terms of your patterns, because that's the feeling that I get, because I am getting the pattern card right next to that, is that this is probably, and it's also typically what we do, we tend to have patterned emotions. And until something happens to make us stand up and look at it and go, oh, the common denominator there was me. What am I going to do about that? If something like that doesn't come along to kind of wake us up, we don't necessarily realize that our past and our energy and the heaviness in us and the unhealed parts of us can be part of what is perpetuating the problem. We don't want the new flowers to die because they're not getting the nourishment that they need. We don't want new wonderful things in your life not to come to fruition or not to be supported to stay healthy because there's old energy that's getting in the way. So what Spirit is really asking you to do is take out the new flowers and look at them separate from the old ones, and then see what do they need. What kind of container do they need to be in? What kind of vase? It's not just the water in the vase. What kind of vase do they need? Do they want to be open and splayed out like that? Do they want a small neck so they're upright and straight? All of these things are representations of different kinds of experiences or emotions that you might be having. You're being told you are the one to do this, my dears. You, my earth sign Virgos, are the ones to be your own hero in this. You're the one, and you've been building towards this. As I've been reading for you for a year now, I think it's about a year, you've been building and building and building towards this. And this is what I'm seeing now is that, yep, you're starting to have some of the insights that you need and some of the confidence that you need to be able to separate some of the new from the old, so that you can look at what the old is and say, is this vase worthy of keeping? Chances are I'm feeling it is, but it needs new water in it. So if this vase is solid and strong and good, and if this vase represents a structure in your life that's already good that you want to keep, great, that's wonderful. And as you start clearing out the things from that structure, the crap from the vase that doesn't belong there, you get a chance to look at the flowers that are healthy and say, is this something that I want to put back into the vase? Does it need a new vase? Does it need a new structure to live in? Now, quick example of that, they're just giving me this now. So for example, you might have a wonderful structure for everything in your life, to do with your work, your family, or whatever. You might really, really, really have a deep desire to work with really deep spiritual intention. That might not fit into the structure that you've already got going with your family, your friends, the people in your life who aren't into that. You might need to create a new structure separate from that, not instead of, but separate from it, so that you can exist yourself within something that really genuinely supports your growth and your well-being. So that could be that flower in this new vase over here. And it may fit perfectly into this new vase. But what you are really being told here, my dears, is do your best when you find yourself going into issues of blame and shame and all of that stuff, and anything that you're having a hard time letting go of, saying, you know what, I will forgive whatever this situation is, because there was a lot more going on than I ever really knew about in myself and the other people, not just in terms of the dynamics of the actual things that were going on, but in terms of what's happening in any given moment as we are growing and learning and uncovering stuff in ourselves. We can think that everything's fine, and then all of a sudden something pops to the surface and needs to be dealt with. Well, if that happens, my dears, please do your very best to say, I'm going to do my best now to have no opinion on this. I'm going to be as neutral as I can. I'm going to not offer any opinions on this to anybody else. I'm going to look at this myself, and I'm going to say, is it within me? Do I wish to let go of that old pattern around blame, shame, guilt, or any of negative emotions like that? Am I willing to be my own hero, stand up for myself and say, no, I choose not to do that. I am taking care of this structure. I am emptying it. I am cleaning it. I'm adding fresh water, new emotion. I'm allowing myself to operate from new energy and new emotion. And that's very important for you, Virgo, because as an earth sign, you can really, really get stuck. We can, as earth signs, we can tend to hold patterns in our body for a long time, and that energy can feed us back the same thoughts and feelings. This is your chance to let go of that, okay? I think it's great. Be your own hero, and that is telling me you have what you need to be your own hero, okay? You really genuinely do, Virgo. Don't always believe that, but you do. Now's your time to discover it, okay? Take care, my dears.